All right, family. So in this Revelation 16 here, you're finally seeing the culmination of all the crap that these heathens have done on us, our people, throughout the age. All the slaveries, all the captivities, all the brutalities that they have done to us now is about to be turned back on them. This is the recompense chapter, as I would like to call it, where you're going to see your God take up your case, Israel. And he's going to lay it down. I'm going to go into detail. That's why it's going to be two parts. I'm going to go into detail about these vials, what they represent, what they're going to hit. All the type of infrastructures that are up to date that they have, what is going to be destroyed, because it's going to be destroyed, family. All of it's going to be destroyed. The Most High is going to do this bit by bit by bit by bit by bit until there is nothing, I mean nothing left. It's going to be a whole new earth. He's going to flatten this whole place. There ain't going to be nothing left. No commerce, no Wall Street, no Vatican, no New York City. None of that stuff. All that stuff is finna be destroyed. So we're going to go verse by verse to really understand what these verses are talking about, what it means when it happens. Because even though it is in the future, we're seeing rumblings. We're seeing the rumblings that are leading up to the full outpouring of this vial upon these Gentile nations. We're already seeing the rumblings if you look around. And I'm going to go into detail about these rumblings. What's going on? What's happening? So without further ado, Brother Chris.
Yes, sir.
First verse, Revelation 16, hit me.
And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth.
Y'all hear this? This proclamation here echoes with thunderous authority of the Most High himself. That's who's speaking here. That's the great voice. You hear it. It's reverberating through the whole corridors of heaven and shaking the very foundations of creation, just as the prophet Isaiah foretold. We go over to Isaiah 42 and 13. It's going to be a whole lot of precepting today, but you're going to understand why I'm doing. Again, it's Isaiah 42 and 13. This is your God.
The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies.
And so what is this great voice commanding? The pouring out of the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. So this is a cataclysmic unleashing of divine judgment that will sweep away the wicked and usher in the long-awaited triumph of our Messiah's kingdom, which will fulfill the prophecy spoken through Zephaniah. So if we go to Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8, you'll see this prophecy right here that this will fulfill. Again, that's Zephaniah 3 and 8.
Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Y'all hear that? So these vials or bowls of wrath are not mere symbolic vessels. This is what the Christians love to say. It's all symbolic. These are not going to be real things. It's all symbolic. Nope, this is going to happen for real. These are going to be tangible manifestations of the Almighty's righteous indignation. Each one a concentrated potent outpouring of his holy fury upon a world that has chosen to defy his eternal covenants, just as he declared through the prophet Jeremiah. So let's go read that. Let's go to Jeremiah 25:15 to go see about this fury here that he's going to put upon the nations. Again, that's Jeremiah 25:15.
For thus saith the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it.
That's not a singular nation, that's all nations. All these nations have enslaved us. We in every country being treated poorly for years, centuries, millennia. They have scattered us all over this earth at the Most High's command, but they have done these things. So they're all going to get these vials of wrath poured on them. So the recipients of this divine wrath, the earth itself, a term that in the prophetic context refers not to the physical planet, but to the dominion of the Gentile nations that have arrayed themselves against the sovereignty of the Most High, as the psalmist had lamented. If we go over to Psalm 46:6 to see about this earth. Again, that's Psalm 46 and verse 6.
The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted.
So for too long, these heathen powers held sway over the affairs of men, erecting their idolatrous beast systems and demanding absolute allegiance from the masses, defying the commandments of the Almighty, as warned if we go to Deuteronomy 5:7. What does the Most High say here for his people not to do? Deuteronomy 5:7.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Yet they peddle all these quote unquote gods, aka celebrities and other famous people, in your face, all over your TV screens, all in your newspapers, all over your social media feeds. And the masses, our people, have idolized them. They want to be like Mike. Remember that, Michael Jordan? Be like Mike. Idol worship. So these nations, these are the ones who have perpetrated these type of things upon our people to get us to stray from the Most High himself. But now the day of reckoning has arrived. The Almighty is unleashing the full force of his judgment upon these rebellious nations to purge the earth of their corrupting influence once and for all. Just as he foretold through the prophet Isaiah. Go back to Isaiah. We go to chapter 24 in the first verse. Again, as Isaiah chapter 24, verse 1. Watch what the Lord is going to do.
Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof.
Can you not hear the echo of past judgments in this proclamation, my people? The plagues that decimated the defiant Egypt, as we can recount in Exodus, if we go over to Exodus 10 in verse 21. To see the type of plagues that the Most High had put on the Egyptians. That's Exodus chapter 10, verse 21.
And the Lord said to Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt.
So that happened to the Egyptians. But what happened about the fiery destruction that rained down upon the wicked cities of Sodom and Gomorrah? Flip over to Genesis 19:24 to see what the Most High did to them. These are the same judgments that's going to happen again. What did the Most High do to Sodom and Gomorrah? Genesis 19:24.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven.
So these were but foreshadowings of the cataclysmic wrath that now stands poised to engulf the entire earth, which will fulfill that prophecy we read in Zephaniah 3:8. And just as the children of Israel were spared from the plagues that befell their Egyptian oppressors, so too was the remnant, quote unquote, remnant of the Most High's chosen nation, that's us, be shielded from the fury of these vows. For we are the elect. We are the treasured possession of Yah Almighty, destined to inherit the everlasting kingdom that will arise from the ashes of this present age, as promised in Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy 14:2 to see what his promise is. The Most High never breaks a promise. Watch what he promised you, Israel. Deuteronomy 14:2.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth.
All nations.
All. All.
That's every last one of them. But these heathens say, oh, they're going to rule with you, Israel. They say it's going to be a co-rulership. But I don't see no co-rulership when they in charge today. They ruling right now. I don't see them wanting us to rule with them. So they have been deluded into thinking that they're going to rule with us in the kingdom, but they're going to have a rude awakening when the Most High puts us above all of them. But make no mistake, my people, my brethren, the judgments that will be unleashed upon the earth will be of a scale and magnitude unseen in the annals of human history. For Yah is not merely seeking to chastise or correct the Gentile nations, but to utterly eradicate their corrupting influence from the face of his creation, as foretold by the prophet Isaiah. If we go over to Isaiah 66 in verse 15, look what Yah says here. This is what's going to happen to these nations, y'all. The wicked. Isaiah 66 and 15. Watch this.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with the flames of fire.
So these vials of wrath will be poured out like the very foundations of the beast system. Its economies, its power structures, its false religions, and its idolatrous ideologies. Which would then do what? Fulfill the prophecy that was spoken through the prophet Daniel. And what is this prophecy? Well, let's go to Daniel 8 and 23. 8 and 23 of Daniel. What does it say?
Okay. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up.
So no aspect of this wicked dominion will be spared, Israel, for Yah is determined to purge the earth of every vestige of the rebellion that has defiled his sovereignty for far too long. Remember, the Most High is very patient. These heathen think they can do anything because the Most High has allowed them to. And that has allowed them to become very arrogant and very proud of their deeds. But when this day happens, you're going to see a lot of crying, a lot of begging for forgiveness. Just like they're trying to do today, begging for forgiveness. But the Most High ain't going to hear it. Look what the Most High declared through the prophet Jeremiah here. If we go to Jeremiah 46 and 25, watch. Again, Jeremiah 46 and 25.
The Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saith, Behold, I will punish the multitude of No and Pharaoh and Egypt with their gods and their kings, even Pharaoh and all them that trust in him.
So just like Egypt had all those false gods and worshiping all those fake deities, the same is going to happen in this world. All of these people who have worshiped this beast system, who have taken allegiance with this beast system, all of them is going to taste the fury of the Most High from these vials of wrath that he's going to do. So, brethren, I ask, or I say, to let us steel our hearts and minds, be strong, be courageous, no fear, for the days ahead will be filled with great tribulation and upheaval, just as the Messiah himself warned. If we go over to Matthew 24 and 21. Again, that's Matthew 24 and 21.
For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world, to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
So we take solace, Israel, in the knowledge that these judgments, though severe, and they will be severe, are but the birth pangs of a new era, a time when the rule of our Messiah will be established over all the earth, and the remnant of Israel will take our rightful place as the stewards of his everlasting kingdom, as prophesied in Daniel. We go over to Daniel 2 and 44 to see what's going to take place after this kingdom goes away. What does it say?
And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
That's the Messiah's kingdom. That's our kingdom, Israel. That's us, forever ruling over the earth. We will never be brought low again. No more captivities. No more brutality. No more discrimination. No more racism. No more redlining. No more names, proverbs, bywords. All of that will cease to exist. We're going to be the kings of the earth. And all the nations are going to bow down and show the respect. That's what's coming in the future. But we got to suffer to get there, though. We got to go through some things to make it there. But it is written, so it's going to happen, to give you hope, Israel, so you don't give up, so you keep it moving. Do not let the enemy bring you down. For though these vials of wrath may bring destruction and desolation to the dominions of the wicked, they also herald the dawn of a new age, a time when the corrupted waters of this present world will give way to the crystal clear streams that flow from the throne of the Messiah, as described in Revelation 22 and 1. Let's read that. Skip ahead a few chapters to the end of the book. Revelation 22 and 1. Let's see these pure rivers.
And he shewed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and the Lamb.
That's what is coming in. That's what's coming in. That's going to be us. We're going to be in that new earth if we persevere, if we endure to the end. A time when the verdant landscapes of the new creation will blossom forth, untainted by the blight of sin and rebellion that has marred this present age, as foretold by, again, the prophet Isaiah. If we go back to Isaiah chapter 65 and 17, what is Yah gonna do? Again, that's Isaiah chapter 65 and verse number 17.
For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind.
We not even gonna pay it no mind. We ain't even gonna want to think about the old earth because of how good this new earth gonna be. We ain't even gonna think about what we had in the past. That's how good it's gonna be, Israel. So we got to put on our whole armor of God to be able to withstand against the wiles of the devil, as Paul said in Ephesians. For though these tribulations may be great, our ultimate victory is assured, and it's sealed by the unchanging promises of the one who has chosen us as his treasured possession from among the nations. So yes, my people, my brothers and my sisters, though the road ahead may be filled with trials and afflictions, we must never lose sight of the eternal covenant that is forged between the Most High and our forefather Abraham. A covenant that has been passed down through the generations, an unbreakable chain binding us to the promises of Yah himself. For it was the Lord himself who declared to Abraham in Genesis 12, 2 and 3. Let's go read it. Let's go see what's kick-started all of this promise right here. What did Yah say to Abraham in Genesis 12, 2 and 3?
And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
And the same covenant was further ratified with our father Isaac. If we skip ahead a couple chapters to Genesis 26 and 3, the Most High strengthened this covenant with Isaac. What does he say here in Genesis 26 and 3?
Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and I will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father.
And once more, it was reaffirmed with our patriarch Jacob, who the Lord himself renamed Israel. Let's skip ahead more chapters to Genesis 35 and 10 to see this.
And God said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel.
That's what started it all. It is this unbreakable covenant, my brothers and sisters, that secures our destiny as the chosen inheritors of the Messiah's everlasting kingdom to come. A promise that shall never be revoked or annulled, as the Lord himself has sworn. We skip over to Isaiah 54 and 10. And when you know the Most High keeps his word, watch what he said here. He swore this. Isaiah 54 and 10, whenever you read it.
For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee. Neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith the Lord, that hath mercy on thee.
So we cling to these unchanging assurances, my beloved brethren. And we let our faith remain steadfast in the face of these impending tribulations to come. For though the vials of wrath may pour forth upon the wicked nations, we shall emerge as the victorious remnant, the progenitors of a new age of righteousness and peace under the sovereign rule of our Messiah. And in that glorious day, when the kingdoms of this world have been utterly shattered, gone, poof, and the dominion of Yah is established forever, we shall take our rightful place as the shepherds of his holy nation, the ambassadors of his eternal covenants to the ends of the earth. So the day of vengeance is at hand, and the wrath of the Almighty shall be poured out upon the earth. But for us, the remnant of Israel, it shall be a day of glorious triumph, the dawn of an everlasting kingdom where righteousness and peace shall reign forevermore. So don't you fret. Do not be afraid. Do not be scared of the things that are going to be happening. You triumph that these things are happening, because that means you are one step closer to your freedom, Israel. And the Most High wants you to know this. That's why he left this word here, so it can bring you comfort in these trials and tribulations that he is going to have us go through to strengthen us, to make us stronger, to strengthen our faith, make us more pure like he was. So we got all that from just the first verse of Revelation 16. Now let's go to the second verse.
And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image.
Can y'all not feel the weight of the Almighty's judgment in these words? Can y'all not feel this? For here we behold the unleashing of the first vial of wrath upon the earth, that realm of rebellion and idolatry that has defied the sovereign rule of the Most High for far too long. And what is the nature of this judgment? A noisome and grievous sore, a festering, putrid affliction that shall befall those who have taken the mark of the beast and bowed in worship before its abominable image. So let us delve deeper into the significance of these divine plagues, my people, for they echo the very judgments that befell the defiant Egyptians who enslaved our ancestors in the land of bondage. That's why the Most High has that story there, to give you a blueprint of what he's going to do again. Not to just Egypt, for the whole world who have oppressed us. All these wicked nations, they gonna get it. So just as the Most High struck the Egyptians with botches and blames, and we can read that if we go to Exodus 9:9 to see these boils. Again, it's Exodus 9:9.
And it shall become a small dust in all the land, and shall be a boil, breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt.
So y'all see that? It's the same type of things are going to be happening here with this first vial. So as the Lord did that to the Egyptians for their stubborn refusal to release the children of Israel, so too shall the wicked of this present age be afflicted with grievous sores for their allegiance to the beast system and its idolatrous mandates. But this plague is not merely a physical scourge. It is a tangible manifestation of the spiritual corruption that has taken root in the hearts of those who have embraced the mark and bowed before the image of the beast. They follow this system. They love money. They love capitalism. They love their oppressors. This is the mark. This is bowing down before the image. Addicted to this society, addicted to social media, soaking up all the lies that these people have told our people for centuries. That is embracing the mark of the beast, people. For in accepting this profane mark, they have forsaken the covenant of the Most High and pledged their allegiance to the very forces of rebellion and apostasy that have arrayed themselves against the sovereignty of our God. It is a violation of the sacred command inscribed in the very first precept of Exodus, the 10 Commandments, which says, thou shalt not have other gods before me, as we read. And so for this transgression, they shall reap the bitter harvest of the Almighty's wrath, a judgment that shall sear their flesh and their souls with the putrid stench of their idolatry, which is a visible manifestation of the spiritual leprosy that has consumed them from within. Remember, everything happens in the spiritual realm, and then it gets manifested here. So this corruption that is within the spirit of all these wicked people, even our people, it's going to manifest physically as these boils. Remember, anything that happens in this physical realm already happened in the spiritual realm first. That's what the Most High is trying to communicate here with these vials. He's trying to tell you all that corruption they have sown, they're going to reap it with these boils. But this is not merely a chastisement, for it is but the first stirrings of a cataclysmic judgment that shall sweep across all the earth. Everybody finna get this who bow down to the system. Everybody is going to get this judgment, which is going to purge it of the corrupting influence of the beast system, as which I said earlier. And all those who have sworn allegiance to its profane edicts, mandates, laws. So just as the Lord declared through the prophet Ezekiel, if we go over there to Ezekiel 14 and 21, watch what the Lord declared here. Again, that's Ezekiel 14 and 21.
For thus saith the Lord God, how much more when I send my 4 sore judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword and the famine, the noisome beast and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast.
So too shall the vials of wrath pour forth upon the earth, each one a concentrated manifestation of the Almighty's fury, as I said earlier, which is going to be designed to utterly shatter the foundations of the beast in its idolatrous reign. Remember, the main progenitors and driving forces behind these global resistance movements that's going against the Most High, against the true worship of him, have overwhelmingly stemmed from these European oligarchs. The rich, the richy rich, the ones they don't really talk about. These are the ones who are running it in their secret society priesthoods, ushering in their long prophesied new world order, which they will do. So through their control of global corporations, medical and educational systems, mass media propaganda, and false religions, they've induced the masses and a lot of our people to prostitute themselves by taking the spiritual mark of their Baal ideologies and antichrist Talmudic doctrines. Who's at the forehead of these? These fake Jews, right? They own everything. But they even have people above them. They don't talk about them, no. Those are the ones who truly, truly run in the place. They run in the asylum. They're the warden. So by accepting their Freemasonic occultism, their Noahide blasphemies, humanistic theories like evolution, satanic depravities like transhumanism, you see that trying to happen here with Elon Musk and his Neuralink, trying to fuse man with machine, which is an abomination to the Most High, and countless other ones as normal societal frameworks. It's going to be normal to have these things now. So these hordes, these people have willingly submitted to being branded with the symbolic mark, which designates their allegiance to Luciferian principles over the eternal covenants of Yah. These are the people that are going to get this, boils. And now the opportunity for them to simply revoke that spiritual sodomization of their souls and escape judgment is officially over. When these vows happen, no repentance. It's done. Door closed. They've crossed the point of no return with their arrogant worship of the beast system's images of wealth, political power, secular ideologies, and idolatrous humanist values. Everybody is one race, human race. They don't do any separations like the Most High did when he separated everybody. Then Nimrod brought them to the Tower of Babel. The same is going to happen again. They want that new world order. They want everybody to be of the same. They want to blur the lines between male and female. That's why you got men acting like women and women acting like men. You got men dressing up as women and women dressing up as men. This is what they're doing. One religion, which is worshiping this beast system, worshiping money, glorifying money. So there's no more salvation available for them as ignorant masses succumbing to deception from their leaders. No more. By taking that subliminal beast mark of alignment with this antithetical principles, Yah has sealed their verdict as criminals deserving of his full vindictive wrath being poured out here. So they will fittingly reap the internal harvest of their own debased choices, externally manifesting upon their bodies as repugnant, reeking tumors, making their very existence a loathsome spectacle of torturous affliction. Y'all thought y'all saw some boils. These people going to be covered, just like Job was. It's going to stink. It's going to be nasty looking. This is the punishment for going against Yah and his people. So those that have been brainwashed into serving Baal and exchanging the truth about their Israelite heritage for satanic lies about being Gentiles will find themselves covered in the putrid signs of venereal disease, which is the physical symptom revealing they prostituted themselves to cosmic adultery against their husband Yah. Y'all see how the Most High work? Y'all see it? This how he works. What you reap in the spiritual, he finna give it to you in the physical. That's how he works. That's why he always tells us to keep our garments clean. Do not allow yourself to be tempted by these ideologies. So you got all these prominent figureheads, opinion shapers, who helped proliferate anti-Christ propaganda through their teaching platforms, media pulpits, and governmental policies incentivizing beast-marked adoption will stink from the abominable boils and leprous plagues disfiguring their bodies as well. But not them. We got more. Just think of the Hollywood celebrities. These tenured college professors, television news personalities, politicians, bankers, and cultural icons who lent their charismatic, influential prowess towards ushering in the New World Order's deceptions and normalizing sodomite values. That's what they do. They hide behind that LGBTQ flag. So their fleshly tabernacles will become worm-infested cesspools of moral retribution, consuming them inside out. The Most High does not play. So this is what this boil is all about. But for us, the small remnant who refuse to bow their knees spiritually or physically to the infrastructures of the beast will be supernaturally preserved. You will not be harmed, people. You will be under the divine protection of Yah himself. This foul sore is only for those who took the beast's spiritual mark and rendered obeisance to the beast's humanistic idolatries, trying to bring everybody all in together, togetherness. When the Most High created boundaries, but now they're blurring the boundaries now. You got the UN out there allowing immigration into all these cities, all these countries. And if they don't do it, then they get a sanction put on them. They're punished for not allowing these outsiders, these foreigners into their country. So they're blurring all borders. This is where we're moving to, family. But for us, we haven't bowed down. We're going to be safe. We ain't finna have no tumors on us, no boils on us. Our consecrated flesh will not be defiled by these eruptions of divine curse, no matter how intense the coming judgments and upheaval become around us. Just as our brethren in Goshen were shielded from the plagues poured out on ancient Egypt, the elect of the Most High, scattered in these last days, won't participate in the karmic boil harvests reaped by those who prostituted themselves to Mystery Babylon and her blasphemies. So separate yourself, Israel, while you can, from the profane principles and ideologies animating the New World Order agenda, which mark you as property of that satanic administration. Stop rendering allegiance to its humanistic temples and priesthoods, pushing evolutionary pseudoscience, secularism, idolatry, and antichrist values concerning gender, race. We're all one race, human race. Gender, they got the transgenders. A man could be a woman, a woman could be a man. Or you could choose to have no gender and be androgynous and be both. They're trying to usher that in. Also economics, spirituality, and social ethics. They're trying to separate the wealth, the rich from the poor. They're trying to erase the middle class. You see it. The divide between the rich and the poor is growing. There will be no middle class in the New World Order. When that comes, it's going to be rich or poor. That's what they moving. That's where they raising the prices of everything. Those middle class people are going to be poor. They're going to be classified as poor. No longer will your six figures be able to afford you a good lifestyle anymore. You see it in all these other cities. Six figures don't mean nothing anymore. They raised the price of everything. Six figures may as well be 50,000. And it's going to come all over the earth. You ain't going to be able to buy nothing. The price is going to be high. They're going to starve you to accept this beast system. They're going to starve you out. But Israel, the Most High, will feed you like he fed Elijah with them ravens, like he fed our ancestors in the wilderness with the manna. He will feed you. Don't give in. Don't give in. So only by fully divorcing yourselves, Israel, from whoring after that Baal system and its deceptions, can you escape being included among the cursed inhabitants which are afflicted with these malignant boils. The choice is yours: continued bondage and suffering as spiritual prostitutes, or freedom by embracing the exclusive covenants of the God of Israel. The choice is yours. Which one do you choose? What path? Do you want the red pill or the blue pill? Which one, Neo? I leave you with that. And we go on to verse 3. These things are serious, fam. This ain't no game. The Most High ain't playing no games here. I'm letting you know. I'm showing it to you. Whenever you're ready, brother. Verse 3.
Stand by.
Stand by.
All righty. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea.
Woo! Here we witness the outpouring of the second vial, this time upon the sea. a prophetic metaphor that in the scripture often symbolizes the teeming multitude of the Gentile nations, just as the prophet Isaiah foretold. Let's go back to Isaiah, my homeboy, Isaiah 17, verse 12. Look what he says here about these seas. Again, Isaiah 17 and verse number 12.
Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like the noise of the seas, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters.
And what is the nature of this judgment? A transformation of the sea into the coagulated blood of a dead man. A putrid, stagnant miasma, a stench in which every living soul is utterly extinguished. Y'all see this, right? Y'all see how serious Most High is? He gonna kill a lot of people, family. Can y'all not see the parallel between this plague and the spiritual condition of the nations in our present day? For they have become like a festering ocean of death and decay. Their waters poisoned by the toxic ideologies and profane philosophies that have supplanted the eternal covenants of the Most High Yah. Look at all this stuff. Atheism. There ain't no God out there. Big Bang Theory. God didn't create the universe. It just happened. These are the examples. Look around you, people. Bear witness to the spiritual wasteland that engulfs this Gentile world, a realm where the very concept of truth has been submerged beneath the murky depths of relativism and subjectivism, where the timeless precepts of righteousness have been drowned out by the clamoring voices of secular humanism and moral nihilism. Don't mean nothing. No one cares. No one cares about nothing. It's all about me, 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 me. No one cares about Yah. It's all about humans. Humans exalting themselves above Yah, thinking they're gods. Look at all these athletes, celebrities, think they're God. Think they can do whatever they want to do. But you see the judgments on them today, right? We leading up to this. Y'all see the rumblings? All these scandals and all this stuff going on. Y'all see it? Just wait until it's fully outpoured in this day right here. Just wait. It's going to be a mess. In the halls of their institutions, quote unquote, of higher learning, our youth are what? Indoctrinated into the atheistic dogmas of evolution and scientism. Y'all see it in class. We went through it in school. They don't teach about creation. What they teach about? Evolution. Man evolved from apes. This is what they teaching. It's all about the scientific method. Scientific method. None about God. Nothing. It's still going on till today. Their minds and our minds were poisoned against the revelations of the Creator in the authority of his sacred word. In their entertainment and media industries, they are inundated with a deluge of filth and depravity, a cesspool of promiscuity, violence, and occult affluences that corrupt the souls of the masses and erode the foundations of godly living. You don't see none of that stuff. It's all about evil stuff. Getting a bag, being whores, prostitutes, OnlyFans, all this stuff. Where's the righteousness? Where's the purity? It don't exist. And if you speak out on it, they crucify you, call you a bigot, prejudice, because you dare speak out against their evil. Call you a goody two-shoes. Like that is supposed to be an insult. Our own people do this. I'm sure you guys have tried to tell your people about following behind this nonsense, and you have been ridiculed and chastised. Oh, you raining on our parade. You being a negative Nancy. Just let us enjoy our stuff. We ain't hurt nobody. This is what the people say today. Even in their houses of worship in this so-called Babylonian society, the so-called churches of mainstream Christianity and other religions, the pure waters of the gospel have been polluted by the admixture of pagan traditions. They about to celebrate the Easter Bunny tomorrow. Got nothing to do with scripture, but they're going to celebrate the Easter Bunny tomorrow. Instead of celebrating Christ, they got Easter egg hunts and chocolate eggs, Easter bunnies, pagan traditions, human philosophies. You got people just making up stuff, twisting the scriptures, and also the insidious doctrine of universalism. This is what they have been preaching. A toxic brew, a drink that has lulled countless souls into a spiritual slumber. Look at our people in the church. They don't learn nothing. They come into church learning nothing. They have left the church learning nothing. All they did was depart the money from their wallet into the offering plate. That is all they have done. Spiritually sleep. Blinding them to the exclusivity of the Almighty's covenants with the nation of Israel. You're saying they got spiritual Israel now. That's what they're talking about. Spiritual Israel. Anybody who believes in Christ is an Israelite. We're in the family of Abraham. That does not make any sense. If you're not born from the blood of Abraham, you can never be of Abraham. Just like I can't go to Switzerland and become a citizen. Does that automatically now, does that make my entire family tree change to Swedish people? Am I now Swedish now, or am I just a black man in Switzerland? You see the stupidity of the doctrines. These are the rivers and blood. This is it. But also, what of the political and social arenas too? Have they not become like stagnant pools of ideological sewage? Where the poisonous tenets of globalism, you see it, the globalism, they're trying to bring the new world order in. Only a few select corporations own everything. And these are all orchestrated by the very forces of wickedness that have arrayed themselves against the sovereignty of our God. But we're not done there. We got the courts and the legislatures of the nation. We bear witness, fam, to the steady erosion of the moral foundations upon which their societies were once built. The sanctity of marriage, that's gone. The nuclear family, they trying to get rid of that. And even the most fundamental distinctions between male and female are now under relentless assault by the gender ideologies and their radical agendas. And don't forget pregnancy, they going after that too. They're trying to make it legal to get abortions. They fighting tooth and nail to do it, to kill the babies in the womb. All that stuff that the Most High have put forth on this earth, they have dirtied up. We got the media, entertainment spheres as well, which is a veritable tsunami of antichrist propaganda and blasphemous content, which has been unleashed upon the masses, conditioning them to not only accept, but celebrate. Do not our people celebrate this wickedness? Isn't that what we do? Celebrate it. Mardi Gras, all these things, Carnival. This is what they do. We celebrate the most abominable perversions and affronts to the commandments of the Most High. You got RuPaul. How long has that show, The Drag Race, been going on? It is still going. Men, grown behind men, dressing up in makeup and dresses, high heels and wigs. This is what they push. They don't push righteousness. Any type of smart show to get you to think, they cancel it. Any type of show promoting foolishness, it continues to go. Look at your TV now, then before, when you were growing up, before you actually had educational TV. The Discovery Channel was actually about discovery. Now it's full of reality TV garbage. Everywhere you go, every channel you turn to, it's another piece of reality channel garbage, filth, promoting anti-Christ propaganda. So this is what the Most High is going to turn to blood. He's going to destroy all of these things that I have went over. All of it gone. All these corporations, goodbye. See ya. Nice knowing you, Microsoft. Bye. He's going to crumble every religion. Sorry, Buddha. Get out of here. All these athletes, they are going to get it. He's destroying TV stations, satellites, all these things gone away. That's what he's saying by the rivers turning into blood, turning that sea into blood. That's what he's saying. This is what he's turning into blood, family. So the sea here of the Gentile nations has truly become a fetid, lifeless expanse, a realm where the living waters of truth and righteousness have been utterly supplanted by the putrid tides of humanism, secularism, and every form of spiritual wickedness in high places. But we lose no heart, Israelites, for this judgment upon the quote-unquote sea is but a harbinger of the Almighty's righteous fury, as we read earlier in Jeremiah 46 and 25. So for this present age, Israelites, what we living at today, the nations have become like the defiant Egyptians of old, stubbornly clinging to their idolatrous systems and rejecting the sovereign rule of the Almighty over their affairs. Everybody think they're a god. Isn't that what they tell us in Kemet? We're all gods. You're a god. I'm divine. We gods, but yet you sleep. The Most High don't sleep. You say you a god, but you hungry. You say you're God, but guess what? You gonna die. If we God, why is people still dying? Every day, people dying, but yet they say we gods. We gods. We just gotta tap into our divinity. That's the nonsense that's being pushed in this beast system to get us away from Yah himself. Don't get caught up in it, Israel. Their rebellion that they're doing today, it shall not go unpunished, as we read. For the wrath of the Most High is about to be poured out upon them. A cataclysmic deluge. It's going to be big, fam. Of judgment that shall purge the earth of their corrupting influence once and for all. And in that glorious day, Israel, when the sea of Gentiles has been utterly desolated, all this stuff gone away, in the dominion of the Almighty is established. Forevermore, we, the remnant of Israel, we're going to take our rightful place as rulers of this earth. We're going to rule it all. It's going to be ours from sea to shining sea. We going to run it. So we raise our voices when these plagues happen. We raise our hands and we praise the Most High. Because he is the one that's going to destroy all this stuff. All this crap that this world has done. He's going to defeat it all. So that's what it means when the sea is going to turn into blood. And then on top of that, you got the actual seas. Don't forget about them. They're going to undergo an apocalyptic transformation too, with their waters congealing and thickening to make them look more like blood. And what happens on the sea, fam? You got trade, you got all the ships, the cargo ships. They ain't going to be able to go nowhere. There goes that industry. There's going to be no refuge, no underwater caverns, no deep sea trenches spared from this extermination event as the Most High executes his furious vengeance upon the watery expanses and their inhabitants with the precision of a skilled huntsman. This is the Most High out for blood, literally. Literally. All this stuff. There's going to be no more trades, no more ports to go into. They're going to become empty. Empty. Businesses ain't going to be booming no more. Systematically, you see the Most High is destroying things little by little with these vials. Little here, little there. Until it comes to the seventh one. And it's going to be completely poof. Babylon gone forever. So the Most High is gradually, he's hitting their infrastructures. He's hitting all their things. All their businesses, their logistics. He's tearing it down one by one. No more mega corporations. No more trades between countries. All that's gone. Ships ain't going to be able to go into that blood. No more supply lines, raw material imports, refinement processing systems. Those oil rigs out there ain't going to be working no more. Manufacturing plants, that's gone. Transportation networks, that's gone. Energy capacities to power their wicked machinery, that's gone. And when all that's gone, how they going to make money? How they going to work? What are they going to do when all of these things start happening? All these creatures that's sustained by this commercial Babylon, the waters will suffocate and perish as the life force evaporates. It's unfolding today. You got systematic sabotage. You got bottleneck-induced chain reactions, now triggering widespread supply shortages. It happened during COVID. You had a whole bunch of that supply shortage stuff. You got runaway inflation. Food prices continue to grow. Bread is crazy high now. I have no idea. Eggs, crazy high. Milk, crazy high. Especially in the big cities. These things now are becoming a luxury. Transportation disruptions. You got the truckers always going on strike. All these things happening. Small little things happening here. It's going to lead up to the big stuff. This is what it means to have the sea turn into blood. But what about verse 4? Let's move to that one. That's another big one. What does verse 4 say, brother? Revelation 16. Yeah, you just got uncomfortable over there, didn't you?
Verse 4.
Yes, 4. Mm-hmm.
And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood.
Uh-oh. What does this mean here? So now we're in the more localized area, because now we just doing rivers and springs now. So these are localized. So this is localized, fam. It's all about, this is what it is. So this is targeting specifically rivers and fountains of water, which sustain the life itself upon the earth, which is a profound judgment which strikes at the very lifeblood of man's existence. For as the scriptures declare, let's go to Deuteronomy 12 and 23. What does it say? Again, that's Deuteronomy 12 and 23.
Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh.
So now that's getting turned to blood, rivers and fountains of water. And what is this result of this outpouring? The formerly pure and life-giving waters become polluted, turn to the color of blood. A visceral and horrifying transformation that echoes what? The first plague that befell defiant Egyptians. If we go to Exodus 7 and 19, remember the Most High is just doing the same thing over again. It's a rerun, if you want to call it. Exodus 7 and 19, watch what he did to the Egyptians over there.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, take thy rod and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout the land, throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone.
So just as the Nile, that life-giving artery which sustained the nation of Egypt, was turned to blood as a sign of judgment, so too will the vital waterways that nourish the earth become polluted and defiled, which will bring death and destruction that will follow in the wake of the Most High's wrath. But this plague is not merely a physical manifestation. It carries with it profound spiritual implications as well. For the waters of the earth have long been a symbol of the nations and peoples that dwell upon it, as we read earlier in Isaiah 17 and 12. So just as the physical waters will be turned to blood, so too will the spiritual waters of the nations be polluted and corrupted. Their once vibrant cultures and traditions will become tainted with the stain of rebellion and idolatry, which will fulfill the prophecy spoken through the prophet Nahum. If we go to Nahum 3 and 5, you'll see that prophecy being talked about that will be fulfilled with this particular vial. Again, that is Nahum 3 and verse 5.
Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame.
All that's going to happen. It happened with Israel. It's going to happen to them too. It's going to happen to them. So to go more into detail about these rivers and springs, what will be affected by these. So the oceanic domains that we saw earlier with the Big Sea represented the epicenters of global commercial profits, overseen by the beast powers, persecuting the children of Israel. So these river and spring sources signify the localized inland infrastructures, utilities, and life-sustaining aquatic resources, upholding those same oppressive systems within specific geographic nation-state boundaries. So you got all these different water treatment plants, all this stuff that gets fresh water from the rivers. Those ain't gonna work no more, because that's exactly what they do to treat your toilet water. Your toilet water is gonna be blood, but that's where they get the water from, the fresh water from the rivers. But everything is gonna be blood now. So you're gonna be boo-booing and bloody toilet water. That's going to shut down a whole lot of infrastructures. So think about it. So just as the first plague turned the territorial waters of Egypt into pools of blood, foreshadowing the eventual overthrow of that wicked kingdom, which enslaved Israel, so too does this plague represent the permanent drying up of life forces that are channeled into maintaining the food production networks. You got food, they take water in. You got drinking water sources. How you gonna get fresh water? Other nations, wicked people, how y'all gonna get fresh water when your tap water gonna be bloody? Uh-oh. Irrigation systems, how you gonna clean your crops? Uh-oh. Where do you think that water comes from? You finna spray your crops with blood? And also, like I said before, sanitation utilities leveraged to domesticate Hebrew populations under Gentile rule. So throughout biblical prophecy, rivers and springs are consistently metaphors, illustrating either the revivifying outpourings of the Holy Spirit, as we know about that water in Ezekiel. He's gonna pour that clean water out on you to clean you up. You also have perversion of those same life-giving resources into idolatrous sewer systems, channeling only death, curses, and judgment. So look what Israel ended up doing in Jeremiah. If you go to Jeremiah 2 and 13, watch this.
Jeremiah 2 and 13.
Look at these spiritual waters right here. Watch this.
For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out of cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
Broken cisterns. They have believed other ideologies, other men over the Most High. They have gone off the path of righteousness. Now they're on the path of wickedness and idolatry. That's what the other cisterns are. Represents these ideologies. Atheism, universalism, Christianity, Islam, all these different things that cannot save them, can hold no water. It can't save them. But the fountain of living waters, which is Yahushua himself, he can save you. It's the same fountain of living waters he offered to that Samaritan woman. Y'all remember that way back in John 4 and 14? Let's go read it. John 4 and 14. These are the waters we should be consuming. But instead, our people want to consume the dirty water of Babylon. This right here, John 4 and 14, gonna tell you.
But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life.
You believe in Christ? You believe in Jesus? Everlasting life. These are the waters we should be consuming. He is the fountain of living water. The only water we should be drinking is his. So the two primary symbolic contexts in which rivers manifest speak to the duality of their roles as either eternal cisterns, birthing forth endless offsprings, like I just read about with Yahushua, onto the covenant nation, as the prophet Isaiah 48 and 18. Let's go there. To see this pure water that we should be having, that the Most High wants us to drink. Again, that's Isaiah 48 and 18.
Oh, that thou hadst hearkened to my commandments, then had thy peace been as a river, and thy righteousness as the waves of the sea.
Or, on the other hand, they embody the subterranean network of profane ideological currents and indoctrination programming. These are the other waters. These are the broken cisterns transmitted from one generation of Gentile society to the next. These are the broken cisterns that came through from Egypt, through Assyria, then went through to first Babylon. Then it went to Medo-Persia, continued there. Then it continued in Greece. Then it continued in Rome to this day. All these ideologies, all these broken cisterns, our people would rather hold on to. That has no water, can hold no water, instead of turning to the fountain of living waters. Because they're left empty when they consume this dirty Babylon water. So that's why our people are hopping from one thing to the next. One week they're Christian, next week they're Islam, the other week they're Hindu, another week they're Buddhist, another one they're Kemetic. Because these waters cannot satisfy that spiritual thirst They will always be thirsty. These are what these rivers and springs represent. So every internal river valley, watershed basin, aqueduct, well, canal, and municipal runoff outlet that is leveraged to channel resource misappropriations against the children of Israel will what? Congeal into great clots of blood. None of it is going to work. All their systems are going to go offline. No longer will a single drop of these defiled headwaters churning beneath end up quenching the thirsts or nourishing the productive capacities of Israelites vilely oppressed upon these lands. The Most High finna curse everything. These are going to be bad. That's why I told you this tribulation is going to be bad. But you, Israel, the remnant, you're going to have clean water. You're going to have that clean spiritual water because you got Jesus in you. You're going to have that physical clean water too. You ain't going to be affected by this blood. The other people will. They're going to come knocking down your door because they know you got that good water. But you don't answer. You let them. You let them thirst. So these are all these things that's going to shut down, y'all. He's systematically taking down this entire society worldwide, bit by bit. So beyond the basic life-sustaining utilities like drinking water access, this plague is also going to be the total depletion and deprivation of all those civic lifeblood support networks, i.e. electricity grids. That's power outages. Agriculture, sewage. It's going to be backed up, fam. It's going to be stinky out there. HVAC systems and so on. All these things that were used to facilitate and expand their logistical abilities of these host nations to subjugate Hebrew captives under bondage while bolstering their economic capacities. So they got richer off of this. Because remember, who put all this stuff together? We built this country. Remember that. Off of our back, off of our blood, sweat, and tears, these people have gotten rich. All these different things they have, machinery, all this stuff. We built it all. So now, since they built it off our blood, the Most High gonna change all their stuff to blood. For all the nations who have subjugated his people. These are the things that's gonna happen, y'all. Ain't nothing gonna work. Nothing. No fresh water, no nothing. Ecosystems, all these fish, they gonna die. They gonna die too. You see, hell, the blood not even, the water's not even blood yet. You see all these fishes just dying anyway. Entire ecosystems and infrastructures that are dependent on these waters will rapidly decay in cascading systemic failures. Widening ripples of chaos, unrest, and disrepair will infiltrate the deepest spaces of those kingdom civic orders as all the facilities, institutions, and population centers reliant upon those water main lines began imploding for lack of hydration. People are going to be wanting some water, and they ain't going to be able to get it. People going to be scared. It's going to be chaos, family. But for you and your household, our people scattered, we going to be good. That's why I tell y'all, stay covered. Keep that blood active on your doorposts so none of these plagues can hit you. All this stuff going away. Agriculture to sanitation, gone. Commercial production to electrical generation, gone. Every foundational system upholding these nations' governing authorities and logistical capacities for population control, because they use all these systems to keep us on the bottom. That's why they make all these systems. That's why you got to pay water bill and all this stuff. It keeps us having to pay them. Why we pay for water? That's all. That should be freely available. Why we got to pay for it? All these things they use to keep our people poor. The Most High gonna dry it all up. These lands. So after all that's done, those defiled lands are going to become utterly inhabitable for our people to remain exiled upon. As the most rudimentary, the most basic life-enabling conditions they leveraged to containerize our existence disintegrate. So the very system they use to keep us on the bottom, going up in flames, family. And what does that mean? One step closer to getting the heck out of here. Are y'all ready to leave? Because this is what I'm showing you. The Most High systematically shutting down everything so we get the hell out of here. They can't leverage none of these institutions. They can't leverage none of these machines anymore because it's all broke. They can't keep us on the bottom. How you going to charge us electricity when there ain't none? How you going to charge us for water bill? There ain't no water. So their scheme of getting rich off the backs of Israelites is going to end, which means our freedom. But guess what the next verse of Revelation 16:5 says here? What does the angel say after the Most High has decreed those two vows to be put on the earth? What does the angel say in Revelation 16:5?
And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art, and wast, and shall be, because thou hast judged us thus.
Y'all see that? So everything the Most High is doing is righteous. Everything the Most High is doing is righteous. All your actions, guess what? They got a consequence. Do they not? Yes, they do. So we see this messenger, which is tasked with pouring out the vial of judgment on the waters. He offered a solemn declaration of the Almighty's righteousness and sovereignty. For too long, these nations have defied the eternal laws of the Most High, polluting the spiritual waters with their idolatries and abominations. But now the day of reckoning has come, and the judgment decreed by the Eternal One is being carried out. As the Apostle Paul declared in Romans 1:18, what does Paul say here? Again, what does Paul say here in Romans chapter 1 in verse 18?
For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness.
All ungodliness, which is what these nations have been doing. Unrighteousness. Promotion of all this wicked stuff. So the Most High says, you're guilty. You are guilty. Here's your judgment, these vows. So he says, thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and wast and shalt be. And these words here show the eternal truth that our God is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, a timeless and unchanging reality that existed before the foundations of this world and will endure long after the present heavens and earth have passed away, as declared in the first chapter of Revelation. If we go to Revelation 1:8, what does Christ say here? Because this is Christ talking, by the way. Revelation 1:8.
I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty.
So this phrasing encapsulates the ever-living's transcendentalism over all temporal boundaries, over all of it. He's over all time. He's over all these things that we have in the physical world. He's over all of it. He's the embodiment that contains the totality of eternal existence within his divine self. All of this that we have today came out of him. He made it possible. So when our Hebrew ancestors, our people, became seduced into idolizing the deities of Egypt, Canaan, and Babylon, they fell under powerful sorcerous spells, as those archaic pantheons were deliberately fashioned to personify mythological allegories which explained recurring terrestrial and celestial phenomena, like what? The weather pattern, seasons, and solstices. So they had weather gods. They had a god of summer, god of winter, god of spring, all these things. Instead of worshiping the one who controls it all, they worshiped all these different gods. And that's what our people do today. Hell, even church have all these different gods that they worshiping, hiding behind pagan holidays. They're worshiping other gods, doing the exact same thing. But little did our forefathers realize those seemingly primordial belief systems, those old behind belief systems, incepted eons before ancient Kemet, were in fact counter Torah. They went against their own law. Because it was calculated by the children of Cain in the Nephilim, because that's why the Most High destroyed all the place, because it is Nephilim, which was the union between Seth's seed and Cain's seed, the righteous and the wicked. And out came these Nephilim. So the Most High, poof, killed off the whole seed line, except for Noah and his family. So they're the ones who came up with these gods and it passed on in right down the line to all these other societies, Egypt, Babylon, Medo-Persia, all these other places, all these Canaanites, they had their own gods too. You see, because our God is not bound by fleeting constructs of time and space, for he dwells in the eternal realm where his sovereign will and divine purposes are unfolding according to his perfect plan. Y'all, do you see it? All you see that's going on out there, all that craziness, that is his perfect plan. We can't see beyond. We can't see the forest beyond the trees because we right here. But the Most High can see the whole movie. So it may look bad now, but he's doing it for a reason. He's doing it for a reason. And so, as this mighty angel proclaims, his judgments are rooted in his eternal righteousness, a righteousness that transcends the limited understanding of us being mortal men and women. And the angel finishes off, because thou hast judged thus. And these words are an acknowledgement that the outpouring of wrath upon the waters is a righteous and just judgment decreed by him, because we read it already in Jeremiah 2:13. They forsaken him, just like we did. Our people forsook the Most High. So did these nations. They know he exists, but they just don't care. And so now he's judging them based upon their idolatries and false religions that they have put upon our people. So now the Most High has to do a great reset. This is the great reset right here. You got people talking about Trump going to do a great reset. Nope, this is the great reset the Most High finna do. He's finna lay everything waste. There ain't gonna be nothing left when the Most High done with this whole thing, there ain't gonna be nothing left. So there's gonna be a few people on the earth. So this judgment that he's done, as I said before, it's very severe in our eyes, but it's a necessary step in the unfolding of his plan for the redemption. I repeat, for the redemption of his chosen people. That's why the Most High doing all this. For you, Israel, to redeem you, to bring you back to him, so he can marry you all over again. Israel, he's doing this to bring y'all back to him. So just as the waters of the earth have been polluted by the wickedness of the nations, so too must they be purified and cleansed in preparation for the restoration of all things under the righteous reign of our Messiah. And Ezekiel foretold this, and I kind of touched on it earlier. If we go to Ezekiel 36 and 25, this is how he's going to clean it. This is how he's going to clean us. Again, that's Ezekiel 36 and 25.
Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from your idols will I cleanse you.
And so just as the physical waters will be purged of their corruption, so too will the spiritual waters of the nations be cleansed. Their false religions and idolatrous ideologies, poof, gone by the mighty currents of divine truth, as prophesied in Isaiah. If we go to Isaiah 11 and 15. Again, that's Isaiah 11 and 15. This is how the Most High is going to sweep up all these false religions.
And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod.
So no longer will the masses and our people be led astray by the poisoned waters of humanism, secularism, and every other false ideology that exalts the wisdom of man above the eternal truths of the Most High. For the judgment poured out upon these waters is going to strip away all the lies and deceptions that have enslaved the nations for far too long. And it's going to reveal the glorious light of the Messiah's truth to all our people who will embrace it. So we rejoice in that. The Most High gonna clean it up, fam. All the lies, all that stuff is going away. He's going to destroy all of their things, physically and spiritually. No more false religions. It's going away. No more of their manufacturing plants, all these big old headquarters, all that stuff, UN stuff, all that stuff going away. They won't be able to make anything. The Most High is turning it all to rubble, bit by bit. And so we move on to verse number 5. I believe it's 5, right? It's 5, right?
Yeah, I think we're on 5.
No, we on 6. My bad.
No bad.
Yes.
For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy.
Woo! That's what they did to us. They've been killing us for how long, fam? And even our people back in the day, they was killing the prophets too. These wicked nations, they have been guilty of persecuting and shedding the blood of our people, the saints and the prophets throughout history. So this scripture immediately settles any uncertainty over who represents the actual aggrieved party, which warrants this vengeance by the Most High. So we know this is all the nations. Who's getting this beatdown of epic proportions? Why? Because our nation whose martyr's blood cries ascended to the highest realm, which brought along this cosmic recompense. All the slaves they killed on the Middle Passage, all the slaves they killed in the Middle Eastern slave trade over there. And even the Silk Road slave trade, where they killed a whole bunch of our people going over to the Asian countries. Beaten, lynched, burned, cut up, sewn in half, broken in pieces, buck broken. That blood is crying out to the Most High, and the Most High is responding through these vials. Through these vials, he's doing it. The slavery, all those things that we've been going through as a people, the Most High now, he hears us. So this whole verse echoes the eternal truth that the Gentile nations have long persecuted and shed the blood of our people from the days of enslavement in Egypt, when Pharaoh decreed that every son born to the Hebrews be cast into the river, to the Babylonian captivity, when our people were brutalized and exiled from our promised land. The blood of our brethren has cried out from the ground, same way as Abel's blood cried out against his murderous brother Cain. That's where it all started from. And even in the latter days, when the Messiah walked among us, the Gentile powers conspired to shed his innocent blood, which fulfilled the prophecy spoken through the prophet Isaiah. If we go read Isaiah 53:7 about the Messiah. Again, that's Isaiah 53:7.
He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before its shears is dumb. So he openeth not his mouth.
So the blood of our Savior poured out upon the cross at Calvary was but the culmination of a long time of martyrs, prophets, and saints who were persecuted, tortured, and put to death for daring to proclaim the truth of the Most High. As also the Apostle Paul talked about it too. If we go to Hebrews 11:37, this is what it's like to be a servant of God. It ain't all sunshine and rainbows, family. Paul is going to tell you in Hebrews 11:37 what it means to be a servant of God.
They were stoned, they were sawn asunder, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskin and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented.
That is what it's like to be a servant of God. These are the trials and tribulations we go through, and what our ancestors went through to preach the Most High's word. It's what we go through to preach the Most High's word. Cussed out. Become a black sheep of the family. Nobody want to talk to you. Oh, don't talk to him. Oh, he talk about that Bible stuff. I don't want to talk about that. That's what they say. But yet, in the face of this relentless persecution, the children of Israel, that's the remnant, have remained steadfast, clinging to the covenants and promises of Yah himself, awaiting the day when the tables will be turned and our oppressors will be made to drink the bitter cup of the Lord's wrath, as we read earlier in Jeremiah 25:15. So now, in this chapter, we're seeing the tables turning, y'all. The tables are turning, y'all. We see it. Are y'all seeing the tables turning? We're going to see it. It's slowly happening right now. The day has come. The day when the Gentile nations will be forced to drink the very blood they have spilled, which is a fitting recompense for their crimes against the chosen people, as promised in Revelation. If we go to Revelation 18 and 24, this is about the system. This her that you're going to see here. This is the system. Revelation 18 and 24. What does it say?
And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth.
We just reading about it. We're reading about it right here in this verse number 6 of Revelation. The Most High is a just and righteous judge. We know this. He is not going to allow the blood of his servants to be shed in vain. Why? Let's go to Psalm 116 and 15. Again, that's Psalm 116 and 15.
Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints.
You see that? You're precious if you die in the Lord. He sees it as precious. Why? Because he's going to get them back. He going to get them. He going to get them all back. All of them. So these Gentile nations, like I said, is going to be made to drink the blood of their own iniquity, the bitter fruit of their rebellion against the Most High, a cup of wrath that they have filled to overflowing through their idolatry, through their oppression and their rejection of the true gospel, as warned in Ezekiel. Let's go read that in Ezekiel. Ezekiel 23 and 32. This is what people do when you bring the word to them. It's what our ancestors did. It's what these modern people do today. Ezekiel 23 and 32. What does it say?
It says, thus saith the Lord God, thou shalt drink of thy sister's cup, deep and large. Thou shalt be laughed to scorn, and had in derision, it containeth much.
For they have proven themselves worthy of the judgment that will be poured out upon them, worthy of the condemnation that will befall those who have defied the eternal covenants of the Most High, as Paul declared. If we go to Romans 2, 8 and 9. Again, as Romans 2, 8 and 9.
But unto them that are contentious and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, indignation, and wrath, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first, and also of the Gentile.
Y'all see this? He's going to bring all that stuff on y'all if you do not obey. This is what it's about. And just as the firstborn of Egypt were slain for Pharaoh's defiance, and the inhabitants of Canaan were driven out for their abominable idolatry, so too will the Gentile nations be purged from the face of the earth, their blood spilled as a righteous judgment for their crimes against the chosen people. And we read about that earlier in Isaiah 66 and 15. But let's read the 16th verse of Isaiah 66. Watch this. No problem.
You say 66?
66 and 16, brother.
Got you, brother. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
They don't teach this in the Sunday church. They don't teach this in Sunday church. Jesus is all love. He loves everybody. He will not hurt a fly. That's not what I just read.
Show me some scripture.
I just showed you what he gonna do. That cuts all those Christians talking about, oh, God love, blah, blah, blah. Nope. He gonna kill a lot of people. But we take heart, people. For even after Almighty, his wrath is poured out upon these nations, we who have remained faithful to the covenant will be spared and sheltered. How do we know this? Let's go to Psalm 91, 7 and 8. The Most High promised this to his faithful remnant. Psalm 91, 7 and 8. What does it say?
It says, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
You see that? We're going to be safe. We're going to be watching everybody get judged. Because that's what we going to do, family. Why? Because we are the elect. We are the chosen generation that is destined to inherit the everlasting kingdom that is going to arise from the ashes of this present age. We going to do it. It's been promised all over this book. We are going to be that. And in that glorious kingdom, the blood of the saints and prophets will be avenged, their cries for justice answered, and the promises of the Almighty fulfilled. If we go to Revelation 20 and 4. Here is how the Most High is going to honor that promise. Revelation 20 and 4. What is the Most High going to give those people, those saints, those prophets who died?
He is going to give, and I read, I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
Eternal life. So if the Most High has it in your script to die for him, to be a martyr like the apostles and the prophets were, then you do it with dignity, knowing that you are going to be a part of this. We don't know our scripts. The Most High may have us die. He may not have us die. But if you have to die, you do it with dignity. With this scripture 20 and 4 in your head. So what, you die, they can only kill you once. Most High gonna bring you up. He gonna say, congratulations, my son or daughter. Come on into the kingdom. Reign with me. Be a king or a queen. That's what's in store for the people who die for him. So you be faithful to the very end. Be obedient, even unto death, just like Yahushua was. He wasn't scared one bit, and neither should you. So let's move it on to verse number 7 of Revelation 16. Verse number 7, shall we?
And I heard another out of the altar say, even so, Lord God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments.
So we talking. So first thing first, we got to understand this voice from the altar is representing the cries and testimonies of all our martyred Hebrew ancestors. This is the blood of the saints and prophets. This is what it's saying. This is what they're saying. They're saying he's righteous. What you're doing is righteous. Thank you for avenging us. These are the ones who had their lives sacrificed on the unholy altars of these pagan nations and wicked empires throughout history. We're talking about the countless millions of Hebrew Israelites who were burned, who were slaughtered, raped, dismembered, ethnically cleansed, and tried in true efforts by these seed of Satan bloodlines to completely wipe God's chosen lineage off the face of the planet, all while profaning our sacred covenants and spiritual teachings. That's who's saying this. That's who is saying this in verse 7. Whether it was our brothers being worked to death. What was that? Whether it was our brothers being worked to death in Egypt. Let's go read that. Exodus 1:14 real quick. Then that's Exodus 1:14.
Oh, man. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service, wherein they made them serve, was with rigor.
So they had them doing that. But we also had mass crucifixions and enslavements under the Roman tyranny. Let's go read about that. Matthew 27:26. Again, that's Matthew 27:26.
Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified.
That's what you see. And then you had the transatlantic Holocaust, shipping our divine culture through human auctions and cotton fields, which fulfilled the curse of Deuteronomy 28:68. Let's read that famous verse. Everybody knows it by now, but let's read it for the other people who haven't heard it. Again, that's Deuteronomy 28:68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
So those are those people as well who were sacrificed through that, who's calling out to the altar of the Most High saying, you're righteous, your judgments are righteous. But even then, we got the current day school to prison industrial complex genocidal policies. That's what they want us to do. They want to put all our men in prison and work them to death. Free labor ain't no different than these other places, these other things. So the voices crying from under the altar represent billions of innocent Hebrew lives who were made early departure in humanity's most horrific, sustained campaign of racial persecution. We've been the only ones at the receiving end of all this. Every nation has been doing this. Every nation is complicit in all of this. That's why the Most High is judging every nation, because they all have a hand in this. So when it declares, even so, Lord God Almighty, that is a cosmic cosign, an eternal amen being yelled from the heavenly realms, and approval of the judgments finally being rained down on these wicked nations who've had their hands drenched and torturing and eradicating the Most High's chosen seed line throughout every generation and age of their diabolical rule on this earth. It is an acknowledgement that only the Most High, the true Lord God Almighty, not only has the full divine rights to administer this multi-millennia overdue vengeance upon the historical perpetrators guilty of ethnic cleansing his Hebrew nation, but an emphatic agreement that his judgments are true and righteous in every sense of those consecrated principles. Meaning, these are not just some haphazard or discriminatory sentencing coming down. No. These end-time rulings issuing from the heavenly throne represent the quintessential examples of pure, uncompromising truth and righteousness being restored back into the earthly realm that's been grossly contaminated by the same wicked races these judgments are laser focused upon. All of them getting it back. They say, oh, God don't exist. If he did it, something would happen. Well, We're seeing it here. How can generational genocides, mass enslavements, consistent oppression, and dehumanization policies enacted against the Most High's chosen representatives even began to be seen as anything other than the highest forms of cosmic treachery and abomination in his righteous eyes? That's a question. Because they say they're not guilty. Well, I haven't done any of these things. They say they don't deserve no judgment. Their hands are not dirty. That's what they say. But the Most High don't see it that way. Of course, the altar itself is going to co-sign these earth-shaking judgments as not just legally permissible, but the most overdue and fundamentally justified recourse, biblically sanctioned. You ain't seen nothing yet, fam. When the Most High drops these vials, you're going to see death as you've never seen death before. It's going to get ugly out there. They're going to be dead bodies stinking up the street. Bodies are going to be piled on. It's going to be bad. But you and your household, guess what? Y'all going to be just fine. Chilling. Praising the Most High for these judgments. Just like the blood is crying out and praising the Most High. Right here in verse 7. So let's go down to verse 8. And what does verse 8 say, my brother?
And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire.
Uh-oh. What does this vial mean? What does pouring the vial out upon the sun mean? Well, let's break it down, shall we? So this fourth vial judgment being poured out represents an intensification of divine judgment, afflicting the powers that have been subjugating and oppressing the children of Israel throughout our bondages across the diaspora. Specifically, it's bringing severe strain and stress upon the global economic and political systems. That's what the sun is. I'm about to show you about that. That these wicked nations have used to establish their dominance. When it talks about the power being unleashed upon the sun to scorch men with fire, we got to look at the esoteric meaning of the word sun because it carries biblical symbolism. More than just that ball of burning gas in the sky, the sun is repeatedly paralleled with positions of rulership, authority, and kingdom governance through the scriptures. Let's read it so you can see it for yourself. Let's go to Judges 5:31 real quick. This is about rulership. The position of rulership here. Judges 5:31. What does it say?
It says, so let all thine enemies perish, O Lord, but let them that love him be as the sun when he goeth forth in his might. And the land had rest 40 years.
So there you go, like the judges. Rulership. Let the judge be as a sun when he goeth forth in his might. Rulership. That's one. Let's go to the second one. Authority. Psalm 84:11. Again, that's Psalm 84:11.
For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk upright.
Authority. Protection. And then the final one, Malachi 4:2. Kingdom governance right here. Malachi 4:2.
But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall.
You see, kingdom governance, that's the Messiah, son. You see why they spelled it that way? Could have easily said S-O-N, but they spelled it this way for a reason. So this vial here, being poured out on that symbolic sun, is describing a major blow being struck against the central power sources fueling these strongholds we've been under systemic oppression from. They're institutional pillars of authority that have been given them capabilities to just shaft us at the worldwide level are getting severely compromised in ways that leave their entire body under a scorching fever. You see, the Most High is being symbolistic here, using metaphors. This is not talking about a temporary economic downturn or unstable political seasons for these European world orders. No, we're talking about a fiery, unshakable judgment cycle unleashing a drawn-out wasting disease upon the very regulatory systems they've relied on to enforce their antichrist, anti-Hebrew agendas upon the global nation for centuries. All their support structures, all their power structures, all the governments. This is who the vial is being poured on. He's going to strip them of that power. He's going right at the governments now. These are your governments. So the full strength and vitality, these wicked people, vampirically derived from binding our people under these oppressive customs, financial schemes, militaries, and majority rules democracies are getting concentrated heat blasts that leave their entire body of governance reduced to a dried husk. He's going to destroy all the governments, the Senate, House of Representatives, Congress, all that going away. The whole world, all their government systems, poof, reduced to ash, nothing. How you gonna enact policies when you don't got no government? That's who the Most High going after in this fourth vial. It's a divine force spinning off each level of their organizational control grids, starting from the coremost son of overarching command, whether that's the private family dynasties. These are your Rockefellers. These are your Rothschilds. These are the top people. Your shadow Robotroyers or Pineal puppet regimes. These are the people that they put in these countries who gonna do their bidding. They do it in Africa a lot. In these Middle Eastern countries, they'll put their own people as the head of these countries. The Most High is attacking all of them, all of those governments. Because that's how they use those people to broadcast their destructive policies upon our nation across the world. That's why it don't matter about who president they bring in or nothing. They all gonna further the beast system. In any country, where we at, we are the target of these policies. We are the target. And the Most High is attacking all their politics, all of it. It's going away. No more leadership. So once that centralized power core gets hit with these judgments, the effects is going to cascade downward spiral, impacting every subsystem, deriving the energy flows from these governments, your UNs, these Bilderberg groups and all these things like that, all the systems, all the different governments that took their power from these places are going to be poof. It's going to leave the entirety of their global plantations ablaze in utter anarchy, dysfunction, and disarray. There's going to be no more leaders, fam. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's going to be chaos, anarchy, gangs in the street, all this stuff. It's going to happen. There's going to be no more leadership. This is the chaos the Most High is bringing. He is systematically destroying the beast system from within. You see how it's ramping up with each vial? You see how he's attacking more and more? It's getting more and more specific. So now he's attacking the head of the snake, almost the head of the snake. to all these demonic family trees from all these places that have enriched themselves by stealing from our perpetual slaveries, find their very legacies ignited into full-scale implosion mode. All the riches they have, poof, is being affected. All their schemes that they had in place to steal money from our people, gone up in flames. All the policies going away that keep us subjugated, that keep us enslaved, all of it goes away. That's what the Most High is judging here. Every European pyramid scheme and racialized caste system, they got that out in India, the caste system, that marked their kingdoms is going to get destroyed under this fourth judgment in ways that leave their organizational bodies, because it said bodies in the 8th verse, so compromised, there's zero probabilities of them ever regaining functionality to wirehead our people onto their control grids again. It's never coming back up, fam. Once the Most High destroys the governments and all that stuff, there is going to be no way back. It's done. You see, the Most High is breaking off the chains bit by bit of our people who've been enslaved in this system. Bit by bit. You can't just destroy it first. He got to systematically do it until he reaches the tippity top. These judgments are already manifesting around us right now. You got economic, political, judicial, agricultural, healthcare. All their institutional pillars that maintain our oppression are visibly destabilizing in ways that start resembling these scorching blasts. So once you, as an Israelite, perceive these events through these lenses that I'm giving you here, get this insight, it becomes clear we're midstream in watching the systematic dismantling and collapse of all the wicked Eurocentric power structures, monetary schemes, legislative bodies, and governmental frameworks that brutalized our people for generations through racialized injustice, predatory financing. You would payday loans, title loans, all that stuff. Remember those? High interest loans, which they knew you wasn't going to be able to pay back, and they betting on it. Cultural sabotage and every other dehumanizing subjugation tactic in the book. The Most High is killing it. All of it gone. This is how he's going to free you, fam. This is how we're going to get the hell out of here. Each institution our open enemies relied on to wage their ethnic cleansing policies and demographic warfare against the Hebrew nation is undergoing the exact rapid destabilization sequences we were divinely promised would manifest in these end times to break the strongholds keeping us oppressed as a permanent underclass. You're seeing it slowly but surely. They're imploding. The heathen are scared. They don't know what's going on. We ramping up, family. Just look around. Look all the craziness going on. Heck, Haiti doesn't even have a president. They don't even have a president over there. Most High is not even allowed a president over there. And you got all these other nations having presidents, presidential elections, and those are going crazy. Bit by bit, we leading up to it. This is how the Most High is going to disintegrate all this stuff. So you've got these corporate monopolies too. Monsanto, all these different other companies that own all these farmlands and things like that, all these patents. Guess what? He's gonna get them too. The monopolies they have on agriculture, the monopolies they have on health, even the basic ability to feed ourselves get completely short-circuited as they're exposed as the neo-feudalistic Ponzi schemes they always were, parasitically extracting our vital essences to satisfy their gluttonous overconsumption. You see, the truth is coming out. Heck, even the heathens are bringing this stuff out against their own people. showing you what these companies are all about, that they're not about change or anything positive. It's all negative. They're bringing out the receipts, showing the world what these companies are all about, how evil they are. The heathens are doing this. It's going to happen. This is what he's doing. All the corrupt political unions, globalist organizations, even down to their local municipal plantations, all getting the ultimate performance anxiety breakdown while the cosmic choreography plays out. All this stuff is going away. International banking, fractional reserve banking, y'all heard about that? That's how these central banks come into your country. They put you in debt. He gonna kill it all. All of it going away. Anything that has been used to subjugate us as a people, the Most High is getting rid of. That's what he gonna do for you, Israel. That's what he doing for you right now. He working for you even now. And then it's gonna manifest when these vials are fully poured out. He's giving you a glimpse right now. There ain't gonna be nothing left. And I can go more in detail on that, but I think you guys get the gist. So we're gonna end it with the final verse number 9 in this part 1. Verse 9 of Revelation 12. What does it say, my brother?
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. What?
Revelation 16.
Okay, my bad.
It's all good. It's all good. I was like, what?
I heard you say something else now.
It's all good.
Okay, verse 9. All men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of God, which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory.
Booyah. So this right here, this passage, now we doubling down on describing the previous vow judgment we read in verse 8 being poured out. That intense scorching heat coming down on the powers and authorities who've been oppressing our people worldwide. It's now showing how severe and unrelenting these purging flames are against the entire wicked infrastructure. That's what the Most High is attacking, the infrastructure. But notice how it says men were scorched with great heat. Not just their physical institutions or hierarchies of governance, but the very seed line perpetrators themselves, comprising the demonic dragon's ranks, are feeling the full judgmental blast. The scriptural term men here is referring to the collective Adamic racial strain who stepped outside the bounds of human by sadistically codifying Israel's subjugation to their nation's MO, basically saying here, all those humans outside of Israel who worked against our being the chosen people, who are working against us. All these nations, you see them. That's who these men are getting scorched, who's getting scorched. All these other men who are co-signing this system to keep us on the bottom. So when it talks about these men being directly scorched by these divine judgment sequences, we understand it as referring to their very ethnic identities, family trees, and bloodlines who institutionalize hatred of the Most High's chosen as a multi-generational cultural pillar. Remember, our subjugation goes back millennia. So you got to understand, these other people who've been subjugating us, they had children. And their children had children's children. And they all been taught the same thing. Keep them niggas on the ground. So this is what Most High is attacking here. He's going down the whole sea line here and finding out who the perpetrators are. So all these big old rich families that you see across the world and whatnot, who got all the money, oh, the Most High gonna get them. He gonna get all of them, all these oligarchs, all the ones who got trillions and trillions of dollars and all that. He gonna get them because they stole it from us. They stole it through their corrupt businesses. That's how they got that much wealth, because they stole it. This serpent seed line, that's who the Most High is talking about. This men here, these are the men that are attached to that serpent seed line. Satan's children, spiritual children, that is. It's over all these other nations. So it may look like they're fighting against each other, like Russia and China, or going up against the Western European. They're all the same people. They have kept us on the bottom. It's all political theater to get us looking away from the truth, which is they all hate us. China had its way with our people. Russia had its way with our people. Don't let, just because Putin went out there and showed you black Jesus, don't think he didn't do some atrocities that the Most High gonna get his behind for. All these nations we're in have had a hand in our destruction, in our enslavement, in our subjugation, all of them. This is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand here. It's a global thing. All these nations are confederate in hating you, and these are the Most High. This is the one, the Most High is doing it. So you had the ancient Canaanite seed lines all the way back then to these modern day pseudo-Jewish imposters. Every time the Most High's elect nation gained ground in their covenanted promises, these humans metamorphosed novel tactics to usurp our sovereign inheritance. This is what they did. Every time we came up, they bring down. Look what happened in Tulsa. We had our own thing going. They said, nope. Serpent seed said, nope. Get them. Toe down Tulsa. Toe down Rosewood. And then all these other instances of massacres that happened when our people was gaining ground, trying to pull themselves up. And these people come and they tear right back down again. The Most High gonna get them. Whether through outright warfare, economic strangulation, that's what they love that one. They love doing this one. Cultural sabotage, or even misinformation, bioweapons. You see that all throughout the news. Misinformation here, misinformation there. This is how they wage war against us, Israel. I'm letting you know the playbook that the Most High is going to attack. They eternally rematerialize with relentless hatred toward our people, exercising our holy covenant rights over the inherited earth. Remember, this earth is ours, but they don't want us to have it. They know we the chosen people. They don't want us to have it. Heck, they'd rather poison the earth with the chemtrails and all that stuff, pollution, than for us to gain control. But they have no idea what the Most High gonna do. He gonna clean it off anyway. And he gonna clear them right off the chessboard. So when this verse says men were scorched with great heat, we Israelites who got spiritual eyes, we recognize it as a rendering of a very specific subset of the human species getting seared by these intensifying judgments. And that's the entire race of anti-Israelite hatred from its primordial origins right up to its modern day vessels, which is all these other nations. So their entire identities and generational posterities, all the things that they have gained from us, that found perpetuating the oppression of the Most High's chosen, is being subjected to those scorching baptisms of judgmental fire. Their entire livestock is going away. All those mansions they got, gone. Most High gonna get rid of all that. All the things they have made, all the cars, all these different things that they have built in their name, all that stuff, gone. He's destroying all the things that they have made, anything they have touched their hands on. It's directly addressing the same cursed Canaanite seed lines who historically opposed our nation's covenant back then. only carried through to their most recent personifications, who have the same hatred toward our people. We're talking about the ancient Babylons, the Greeks, Europeans, or whatever politically correct terms their mystery schools have rebranded it as. They all the same people. They all hate you, Israel. It don't matter what they call themselves. They all hate you. That's what I want y'all to be recognized. They all hate you. It's the same demonic subspecies that's fixated on pursuing the genocide of our people. All of these people are in cahoots with each other. Don't be fooled by the political theater of them, quote unquote, hating one another on TV. They don't hate anything but you. They playing the game. And this is what I want you guys to see. The Most High gonna get all of them. He's going to scorch all their stuff. It's going to be done, flattened. So that's what I wanted to kind of get out today. I end my lesson on that. I praise the Most High, Yah, for giving me understanding to understand what these vows we're talking about and to relate them to y'all. So now you guys know exactly what the Most High is targeting. And you can see it today. The ramping up of these judgments. And it's going to climax when these vials come. And it's really going to destroy it all. Right now, we're getting a glimpse. We're seeing little hints of it. Destabilization in all their structures, infrastructures, logistics, all that stuff that's going on. We're getting a glimpse of it. And I just wanted you guys to be cognizant of all of that, because I want you guys to be aware of what the Most High got in store for these people. They arrogant today, but in this day, what we talking about in this lesson today, in this day when these vows are poured out, they are not, I repeat, are not going to be arrogant anymore. And with that, I say shalom. I say thank you guys. We're going to finish this up tomorrow with part 2. We're going to do verses 10 and 18 tomorrow. And I praise you guys for listening. And I hope you guys got some understanding today. All praises to and great glory to the Most High Yah. Thank you guys.